All right, John Oakes here with HANKSTERS Hot Rods here in our Indiana, Pennsylvania location, and coming with you today with our newest addition to our inventory here. This is a 1968 Chevrolet Camaro. It's RS SS styled, so it's got, you know, the hideaway headlights up front. It's got the rear lower valance as the RS would have it with the backup lights in it. You'll see all of that stuff once we get it down off of the lift. But as we do always, we're going to start underneath, just kind of take you through the bottom side of the car here, and then we'll get it off the lift for you. So in doing so, we'll start here at the back. Again, you've got the fuel tank here. Again, it's just a regular fuel tank, not a fuel cell. The hardware for mounting it, the straps that go around the tank and the hardware, that's all good. They're not you know, busted up or rusted, anything like that. They're all good, intact. We've got a GM 12-bolt rear end in the car. Out at either end of it here, first of all, we've got BF Goodrich radial TA tires the whole way around. We've got 15-inch factory steel rally wheels on the back. Now that's going to change on the front. We go to a 14-inch on the front on this car, but for the back we have 15s. Drum brakes on the rear as well. Multi-leaf rear suspension, and then they have updated the shocks, and they put some newer competition engineering shocks on the rear of the car. You can also see things like the tailpipes back here. It's got dual exhaust the whole way back, but it does have the tailpipes here poking through between the quarter panel and the leaf spring, just like it should. So as far as the rear section of the car goes, that's really about it back here. Okay, underneath the center of our 68 Camaro RS SS style car here. Now we can take a look at several other things. The floor pans in the car, a little bit more of the exhaust there, transmission, the cross members, stuff like that. So speaking about the floors are actually pretty nice in this car. Now it does appear as though they may have put some replacement panels in here, but they put complete sections in, and they really did a real nice job here at the seam. So everything's cut nice and straight, seam sealed, just nice as can be, really. And they used the correct stamped steel floor pans for the car. So that's all a plus. So again, they're solid, no holes, some patches, but again, complete panels and done correct. So that's what we like to see on these old cars. You can also see things like the frame connectors here. It is a big block car, and they probably just wanted to make the frame as stiff as could be, so they went ahead and added in these frame connectors in between the front subframe and the back frame horns here, so that, you know, keeps everything nice and tight on the chassis on the car. The frame rails themselves on the front subframe, those are in very nice condition also. You can see a lot of times you might see these bent up or dinged up a little bit, but these aren't. These are nice, perfectly straight. Again, you know, no harm was done in adding those frame connectors. It just helps the car a little bit more. The exhaust. Again, it looks fairly new. The exhaust piping, all the bends look really nice. And you can see it's tucked up about as much as you could. Anything closer, you do have your drive shaft up here. You just want to make sure that you keep away from that. But they did a nice job with the exhaust. It's dual Flowmaster mufflers back here. And they do have the emergency brake cables and all the hardware all hooked up. So you've got your frame J-hooks, all the cables back to the e-brakes there. So that's all hooked up for you as well. Transmission cross member, if you can see that up in here between the exhaust, it is in excellent condition too. It's not banged up, beat up, anything scraped up. It's in good shape. The actual tail shaft bushing back here, the mount for it, it's in good condition as well. So got good support back there. And that is a Muncie M21 4-speed transmission. And from reading the documentation on the car, they have put a newer clutch in it, so you should be good to go there. And it also has, now I know you can't see it on the other side here, but just so you know, it does have one of the small mini high torque starters on it as well. So again, they do that, keep the starter away from the heat of the exhaust, And again, those high torque mini starters work really well on cars like this. And to finish up here, now we're under the front. Again, we just kind of go side to side here. I've already mentioned the BF Goodrich tires, the factory steel rally wheels. Again, these are 14-inch on the front, 15-inch on the rear. We have disc brakes up front, and those are power brakes. Power steering car also. As far as suspension goes on the front end, we got all the stock stamped steel components. So your lower control arms, upper A-arms, all of the factory stock stamped steel components. We do have a front sway bar on this car, and we got the bushings, the sway bar end links, those are all in good condition. If we look at things like the ball joints, upper and lower, all of your mounting points for your shocks, the tie rods, the ends, the rubber boots on everything is all in good condition on the front end of this car. Again, it is a big block. They have a double kick oil pan here to probably hold an extra quart or two of oil, which that's never a bad thing, always good. You know, especially on that big block. Again, you got lots of power, lots of torque there, so you want to keep it lubricated. Frame horns up front are in excellent condition as well. They're nice and straight. Everything all painted up very nice here with the black underside. The shocks are fairly new too on the front as well. Yeah, based on that, that's about all we have for the underside of this car. We'll go ahead now, drop it off the lift, and we'll get to take you around the outside, show you that, show you the interior, and under the hood as well. All right, now we have our red 1968 big block Camaro down off of the lift. Again, this is a big block car, so we'll get to that here as we get to the front end here. But we see we've got the red exterior here, you've got the white Bumblebee nose stripe, and you have the 396 emblems here on the front fender. Now again, this car is not a 396, it is a 454. The motor's not the original motor, but they do have the 396 badges on it. You see we have the wheel lip moldings here on the car. You've got the rally wheels with the beauty rings and the center caps. And you do notice on this car, we do have 14-inch wheels on the front, 15-inch wheels on the back. But they do have the BF Goodrich rubber both front and rear. You also have the SS emblems here on the front fenders as well. Those are on both sides of the car. And then all of the bright work, the drip rail moldings, wheel lip moldings, the chrome underneath the driver window, quarter window. That is all in really good condition on this car. You don't see any bangs on it, any dents, dings, anything like that. So it's all in good condition. Even the bright work around the windshield, the trim there, that's in very nice condition as well. We've got these mirrors here on the sides. Both doors have them, passenger and driver's side. Again, those are in excellent condition as well. And as we come back here, a couple of things here with the door. You can see the fitment on the door gaps, both front and rear on the car, very nicely done. The elevations are really good too on the car, so your bolts and everything, as far as the locks and everything, that's been all adjusted very well on the car. As we open the door up, we'll take a look on the inside, and you're going to first notice that you've got the all black vinyl interior here. Black door panels, carpeting, seat covers, dash, and headliner. And it's pretty much all factory instrumentation in here. Again, it's the factory dash. You've got the 120 mile an hour speedometer in there. You've got the tick-tock tack in the dash as well. Now this car is a 4-speed, and it does have a factory 4-speed center console in it. Along with that center console, you have that gauge cluster on the console itself. And you have your battery gauge, fuel gauge, the water temperature gauge, and the oil pressure gauge all right there, right on the center console. Factory heater controls, and you have the factory AM radio on this car as well. Now, one thing you will notice, these seats would not be the correct 68 seats, but they elected to go with a seat with the headrest on it. So maybe a little better for comfort, but that's what they elected to go with on this car. Also has the seat belts. You've got front seat belts in here, complete with the shoulder harness, which is wrapped up here on the headliner here, just like it should be from the factory. On the door itself, you see the weather stripping on the door in good condition. There's no tears, no chunks, nothing like that. Doesn't look to be dry, cracked or anything like that. Even your door jamb U-seals back here are in good shape also. So with that, we're going to close the door up. Door shuts real nice and easy. Again, you see that trim work around the windows. It's in really good shape. Again, we've already mentioned the wheel lip moldings. The 15-inch rally wheels, again, back here on the rear of the car. And then that brings us to the back of the car. So, all right, now we're here around the back side of our 68 Camaro big block SS style here. Again, you can see the rear of the car here now is done up. You got the blacked out tail panel, which was very typical of what they did with the big block cars back then. The SS gas cap. You've got that rear trunk spoiler here on the Camaro as well. Again, the bright work here, your tail light bezels, those are in excellent condition. Those are all, probably brand new on there. The bumper itself, that looks to be brand new. And you see it's got the bumperettes also on there. So the whole rear of the car is just as complete as can be. And you do have the correct RS lower valance on this car with the backup lights cut into it. As we get to the front, you'll see the RS front end on the car also. But again, it does have all the correct pieces back here. Right now, we'll go ahead and open the trunk up. Show you a little bit there. So first thing you notice, the trunk lock actually works. The underside of the trunk, all painted just the same as the rest of the car. That red paint there that's on the exterior of the car. The weather stripping and seals on the trunk, those are all in excellent condition. Probably all brand new as well. No chunks or tears out of that. So again, sealing up from the elements should not be an issue with this car. The trunk itself then inside, that has all been finished off with the correct black and aqua trunk spatter paint, just as they would have been from the factory there. So that's really all there is to go over with the trunk and the rear of the car. So we'll go ahead and close this up. And then we'll work our way around to the passenger side of the car. Now here on the passenger side, so we'll start at the back, work our way up to the front. Again, everything here, all the same that we were already over on the driver's side, and we'll just quickly highlight those things again. Again, the wheel lip moldings here on the rear as well as on the front. You've got the 15-inch rally wheels here, complete with trim rings and center caps. The BF Goodrich rubber wrapped on those wheels. All the bright work, your drip rail moldings, the trim underneath the glass here on the passenger side quarter window and door. Again, you can see there's no dents, no dings. That's in excellent condition on the car. The door itself, again, you can see the door gaps, rear and front, are all very uniform, and the elevations on this, the door's been adjusted very well too. We'll go ahead and open this side up, and then we'll take a look here too. Again, on this side here, just as it was on the other side, your weather stripping around the door is in really good condition. There's no chunks or tears or any dry cracks in there. It's all looks like it's been replaced and fairly new on the car. The black door panels, there's no tears or anything on those also. Everything's all mounted down with all the screws that it should be. Again, seat covers, the upholstery in the car, all in good shape. There's no tears or cracks in that. Same thing with that dash pad, no tears or cracks in the dash. Again, we've already mentioned it's got that factory 4-speed center console with your gauge cluster in it. Just everything. The carpeting's in excellent condition on this as well. I've already mentioned too that it's got all the front seat belts in it, and it's got the shoulder harnesses tucked up in here on the headliner just as it should be. So we'll go ahead and close this up. Closes real nice and easy. Again, good old cars, they have that nice little thud whenever the door shuts. You don't hear that plastic sound like the new cars today. Again, just as over on the other side, we've got the SS emblems down here on the back side of the fender. You got the fender mounted antenna as well. The wheel lip moldings up front, the 14-inch rally wheels up front here also. Again, everything's all BF Goodrich rubber on this car also, so matching tread the whole way around on the car. So that really brings us to the front of the car. We'll go ahead and bring our camera around here and we get to take a look at that front facade. Finally, up at the front of our big block 68 Camaro, SS style, RS style also. Again, as I mentioned, we have the RS front grille here, the hideaway headlights, you've got the SS emblem up here on front, and with this particular grille, I know a lot of times you'll see these to where they're all black, but this one's got the bright work, you know, all the chrome, you know, in between to really set it off nice on the front end of that car. Again, since we're up front, you get to see that white bumblebee nose stripe, how nice it looks on this car. You also get to see the 2-inch steel cowl induction hood here and the fitment on that. You can see the gaps the whole way around on the hood. Very uniform fitment is very nice on this hood. Also beautifully chromed front bumpers. Again, you've got the matching bumperettes on the front of the car, just like was out on the back side of the car as well. And if you can see down far enough, you've also got that black air dam there on the front of the car there. So I'm going to go ahead and open our hood now at this time, and then we'll take a look underneath and see what we have. So as we lift the hood up, you're going to notice the underside of the hood all painted up black, and a nice contrast there to the red. And then you see the power plant here. This is a big block motor. Now again, you see all the decals under here. You see the 396 turbojet, 375 horse decal. However, again, this is not numbers match motor, but it is a 454 cubic inch big block motor that's in there. Chrome air cleaner sitting on top. Got matching chrome valve covers as well. We have a Wyand Stealth aluminum intake, and you've got a dual feed Holley carburetor on there. No electric choke though, it's just a manual choke. You've got all the heater lines that are plumbed up here. You've got, as far as your ignition goes, you've got really good stuff here. You've got an MSD Pro Billet distributor back behind the air cleaner there. That's hooked up with a Blaster 2 coil, also MSD, and the MSD 6AL ignition box here. So good. The ignition system on this car, very well. You've got a stock style radiator here, complete with the shroud, power brakes, power steering, and again, we've already mentioned on the underside video, it's disc brakes up front, drum brakes on the rear. Again, this car here, we've got stock cast exhaust manifolds on it, which a lot of people with the big blocks tend to go with. They seal up pretty good. Sometimes with your headers, you know, you get some header leaks and so forth, but with your stock cast manifolds, you don't have a tendency to have that so much. You've got the chrome front fender braces here also, and you've got really good, I believe these are the Pro race wires here, the 40, I think it's 409 race wires. Yep, the Taylor 409 race wires there. So again, it'll deliver the spark from your ignition system real well. Those are big wires, so no problems there. And that's really about it underneath the hood. There's nothing too, you know, out of the norm here. Again, just a really good overall big block motor. It's got a few bolt-ons on it there to help with a little bit of power and help it breathe and get fuel a little better. And again, it's got the upgraded ignition system with that MSD system. So with that said, we're at the point now we can go ahead and shut the hood and go ahead and fire it up for you, let you see how it sounds a little bit. In the meantime, if you have any questions or concerns, as always, definitely give us a call or shoot us an email. We'll be glad to help you out as much as we possibly can.